Welcome back to the lunch table, hip hop food for thought. I'm Nico Blitz, and today we have a special guest with us today, Mike G from Odd Future, man. Mike G was popping, man.
Man, not much. What's going on?
Man, just life in general, man. We're excited for a whole bunch of things coming up, especially for you, man, in the future, because you just dropped Mike G. He actually has his new project out that dropped one in like April, was it?
Yeah, 420. It's called Chase Clouds.
Chase Clouds, and he's also going to be on that Camp Flog Gnaw lineup, man. So congrats on that too. But
Appreciate it.
You've been affiliated with Odd Future like forever.
Yeah, it's been a minute. So yeah, that's been going. I think that's the sixth one this year.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Is it the sixth one? I don't know. Jasmine's been to like the first one. I've only been on like the past two.
The first one was crazy.
Yeah.
Definitely.
How's that first one for you?
Lil Wayne came through.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was a lot. That was like trash talk on stage, rocking with us. So it was great, real great.
You were on that bill?
Yeah, I've been on since the first one, definitely.
That's what's up. Yeah, because then I seen your name pop up on like the last couple ones. I don't think I saw your name on like somewhere in like the middle ones though.
Word, I'm in the boondocks on the flyers, but it's all good. My shows are always fun, so that's what I try to focus on. They usually have me open up. I'm always early, so I set the tone. So I like it. Yeah, I like it, definitely.
Oh, so you don't have a problem with going early then, huh?
Not so much, but always do want the max exposure, and of course, gaining the most eyes is what you want. So yeah, I'm aiming, just working on it.
For sure. What's been your favorite Camp Flog Gnaw performance like from your sets?
Definitely the last one. I had my band, dancers. Everything was cohesive. It was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you get any particular response from the crowd that you weren't necessarily expecting?
Not so much, because I kind of planned for it. Yeah, I did a Linkin Park cover song.
Yeah.
I just wanted people to rock with that. That was a good one, and I'm glad people gravitated to it. So.
What was the cover?
Bleed It Out.
Bleeding Out?
Yeah.
Is that one of the newer ones?
Nah, that was, I forgot which album. That's pretty old though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I ever heard of that one, but then like why'd you choose to do that one in particular, like a Linkin Park cover?
That was, around the time they had lost Chester, so that was the one with the most rapping on it, really.
I feel you.
Yeah, Mike Shinoda. Crazy.
So it was just like paying homage to them pretty much.
Definitely. A lot of people listen to Linkin Park, and I was one of them, so
yeah,
it's real heavy.
What's funny is that like the reason why I'm into hip hop is because of Mike Shinoda and because of Linkin Park. Yeah, because like I used to be into like rock and alternative when I was like 14, 15, and it wasn't until I heard Mike Shinoda I was like, yo, like what is this fucking genre? And for me it was like, who the fuck is this Asian cat rapping? It was cool. Did you grow up on like that whole like rock alternative sound growing up?
Not so much. It was my brother that listened to it. So like I always tell people, it was my dad that listened to Eminem. My mom listened to like Usher and stuff. But my brother was the one that like had the rock influence for some reason.
Yeah.
It was just Linkin Park. I can't even remember who else he listened to. It was just a lot of random stuff from my eyes, but it was always good. So I like the different types of music, all of that. Definitely.
That's cool. So then you picked up from your brother a lot then. Older brother?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
okay.
Older brother, 2 years. And, of course you do pick up stuff, so.
Yeah. What was your relationship like with him, though? You guys were, like, super close, or?
For a little bit, yeah. It's not too complicated, but, I'm a middle child. It was always, I'm just kind of there, so that's how I kind of was viewing it for a little bit. But yeah, he's a different person. That's all it is. It's the main thing. It's just
I feel you.
Weird. He might have been switched at the hospital at birth. Well, shout out to him.
Oh, shit. That's one of those things that does happen, man. Because like with my younger sister, people always look at us like, you guys don't even like seem like you're alike. Because I'm a little bit more like an introverted, extrovert type of thing. She's like fully extrovert, like ratchet and shit.
And that's how he is, just a bit to a light-skinned extent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, how'd you end up getting into music? Was it because of your brother? Because your family was just so like musically inclined?
Yeah, I just really gravitated towards writing so much, and my brother gave me different tastes, and yeah, I just learned a lot of stuff from different stems of my family. So my uncle listened to chopped and screwed music. That's what I was doing first.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
a lot
like,
goes into
so,
it.
like, was there a moment where, like, your uncle, like, was there a moment when your uncle was like, or where you were with your uncle and you're like, oh shit, like, this chopped and screwed shit's really fucking cool?
Yeah, definitely. The first time he played it, it was a female on the hook. It was a Mad Ratchet song. It was horrible. So, and like, the voice sounded weird, of course. So I was like, why does the voice sound like that? And he was like, it's chopped and screwed. It's slowed down. And if I could remember who did it, that would be great. But yeah, I just started. I don't even remember how I started looking towards it. But that's what I was making first. I started chopping and screwing. And it's funny because my brother did come in because it was the program that I was using. Of course, it was a trial version, but he figured out the way around it. So, I'll never forget that. That's the first, like, program I learned to finesse just because of my brother. It's getting MP3s, figured out the way. So
That's how you got to work it when you're younger.
Straight up.
Yeah, because we ain't got money to buy shit when we were like 14, 15.
Right, yeah. And that was early, so it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, but it's very interesting that you were really into like chopped and screwed, because I feel like that's more of like a southern thing, or like you really got acclimated in the South.
Yeah, I mean, I was in Florida, with my brother. I mean, my uncle.
Okay.
My uncle.
You guys moved out there for a bit?
Yeah, that's where my family's from, St. Augustine. My mom was in the military, so we moved around a lot. So she was born in Philly. Family lived in Florida. Like, when she went in, we were at Parris Island.
Yeah.
South Carolina. We moved out here. That type of thing. Like, it was back and forth. I was born out here, went to Parris Island, came back out here. So, yeah.
So, do you get this thing where it's just because you've been, like, to a lot of fucking places, did you, like, pick up something from, like, everywhere you've been at?
A little bit. Once I did become aware of what was going on, I started learning, and I was more so when I lived in Japan. And I was, that was just because that's the most explosive culture you could be exposed to, really.
Yeah.
So
what'd you learn in Japan?
Really just there's a high amount of respect, and, just how they operate, how they carry themselves, and introducing and greetings and everything. It's like, Yeah, it's very, like, I guess, straightforward and polite. Yeah, the most, and they stress that even with business. So that's great to see. That's what I like. But you come to America, and I tell people it's more of a culture shock coming from Japan. I did my first 2 years of high school there.
Oh, wow.
And I come here to Crenshaw High School. And that's more of a culture shock than, being over there. So
no, because you really, just going to high school in Japan, you're really just taught to just go there and, like, do your work, be polite and everything. And it's like, I can't really speak on what it was like in, like, Crenshaw High School, but I could just imagine, like, you were on, like, both sides of the spectrum pretty much. And
yeah, just a bit, but it was, like, the same because, over there they stress that you're an ambassador. If you come from here, you're an ambassador for your country. So, when you go off base, it's the most respect you can have, that type of thing. That's what they stress. And then you come over here, and then it's free reign. But the thing about Crenshaw is that my father was a teacher there. So that was always a thing I was looked to, not so much as having an upholding, presentation, but I did have eyes on me. So it was that type of thing. Yeah.
And also probably, like, all the homies were probably like, we can't fuck with him.
Word. I mean, I had select friends, but my dad was the coolest teacher there, so they fuck with me, definitely.
That's cool. Did you have to learn Japanese? I mean, I'm assuming you did, but...
No, I definitely tried it. I failed Japanese class. That was, So
then how'd you survive 2 years of high school there? I
was on base. It's a different when you go off base, but, people that lived there, they adjusted to having American citizens there. So
Yeah.
it wasn't too much of a hindrance, but if I was to go to the mainland, like Tokyo or something, that would have been a little difficult. But you learn the phrases and everything. And like I said, yeah, that was a while ago, so I forgot everything.
Yeah, man.
I didn't know.
I can imagine.
Yeah, my main thing was the memory between the symbols, the phrases, and then you have to translate it. So yeah, it was a lot.
Now, what's cool is that, like, since I'm Filipino, I'm now noticing that, like, a lot more Asian culture is being implemented into hip-hop.
Oh, yeah. And with that, that's funny because my Japanese teacher was the first person I saw wearing Babes. And, like, yeah, I'll never forget that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he was pretty fly. Yeah, yeah, Mr. Tour, shout out to him. But, when was that? That was a while ago. It was the first one. Had the black and white joints. It was tight.
Yeah. That's some cool shit because, I was talking to somebody and they were telling me that, like, when they see American culture, they kind of see it, like, how LA radio is very slow on things? Like, we'll get music that are, like, 6 months old and whatnot.
Right.
And then it's like, for other countries, what they do is when they see hip-hop, they still see hip-hop as if it was in, like, the 90s or the 2000s.
Yeah, there's definitely a lag, like, between American cultures and, outside. But, that's all in how it translates. I was just in Kazakhstan earlier this year, and they're aware of what Odd Future went through, but, they focus on the beginning stages there. So that's kind of crazy. Yeah. It's like they're still talking about Earl leaving, like being sent away, crazy. That type of yeah.
Damn,
so that's
man,
like
they're like super late.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like really wild, but it's interesting. How things cause waves, ripples, all that effect. It's all wild, but yeah.
Well, because I feel like honestly, like here's how I've always seen hip hop as of recently. I feel like without Odd Future, a lot of the new cats nowadays wouldn't necessarily be themselves, you know what I mean? Because it was people like you, people like Tyler, who were really just about, like, fuck it. Let's just put some shit out that's about us, that's really us at, like, its most raw form and put it out.
Yeah, definitely. There's it's a wave that caught on just with being able to have the freedom of expression, just realizing sometimes you don't need to follow boundaries or whatever it is, but with the internet, that made everything, like, so easy. Just the reach we had and connection we can make with people was kind of astounding. So yeah.
Did you ever have that one moment where you really felt like, oh shit, like this shit is actually working? In terms of, like, you guys really just being yourself, because I want to say back in, like, the mid-2000s, everyone was still kind of fronting. You know what I mean? Everybody was still trying to put on, like, this gangster persona, and, which was cool if you were, like, really into that shit or actually a part of that culture. But
I mean, I would say shout out to 50 Cent. He's the reason, everybody wanted to be so gangster and all that. And I was carrying waves for a minute. It was big chains and rims and all that for a minute. So, fronting was the way to go at that point. Front was how you do it. We all thought everybody, I was just talking to the homies about this. We all thought everybody on the cars, all the bitches in the videos was theirs. You feel me? They had them all, but
you thought, like, and we all thought that shit was real as fuck too.
Facts, yeah, definitely. Like, that shit's crazy, but at a point you do realize being yourself, you get the most expression you can make, and it's just at the time, artistry was catching its own wave, and it was the experimental forms that people were adapting to. So, like, that's how we came up and started making music. That's what we were listening to, like MF Doom, and there's LA artists, Dame Funk, DeBry, and, like, all those experimental producers. That's what we adapted our sound around, and it's just what, transpired. So, and even with the lyrics, that's that just.
Well, you guys were rapping about some, like, crazy ass shit, dude.
Yeah, that's just what what comes with the youth. So, and you know, now it's some crazy shit too, what these kids are rapping about. But it's cool, you know.
Yeah. Well, because I feel like now, like you guys have, like you guys obviously don't do like the craziest shit like you guys did before. Right. But it's like I feel like you guys have adapted from. You guys recognized the fact that you were kids, just simply being yourselves. Now that you guys are like in your like later 20s and whatnot, it's kind of time to grow up.
Yeah, definitely. You know, and you stay young in personality and mind or whatever youthful aspects you can retain within yourself. But, you know, you definitely have to be a mature version of yourself at some times. So,
yeah.
It's just learning that within the music. I figured out with my music, I want to say things the best way possible. Like, I figure, why not? If you're going to write something, it should be doesn't have to be the craziest thing, but it could be, you know, intricate and different, like more so than what other people are doing. So
were you really just trying to define your craft over the past couple of years?
Yeah, because I did fall into music and writing. It was just, you know, what worked, and it's not even that. It's the only thing I was doing pretty much. So just realizing that when people do start listening and you have a voice, you got to use it.
So from your perspective, like who does your voice touch?
I've always deliberated on that, and it's kind of hard to say because I want to say it's people like me, and personalities within yourself is hard to describe, you know.
Yeah.
Without being vain, but yeah, I do feel it's people like me, and that could be broad or a narrow lane, but.
I mean, I could tell, like, you know, just off, like, first impression, people like you are a lot more just, like, chill.
Word.
You know what I mean? And, I mean, even that's, like, a broad word in itself.
Yeah, nice.
But it kind of dumbs it down just a little bit, you know?
Word. That's a lane in itself, so, yeah, there's the chill wave, all that. That's tight.
Let me ask you this. Like, when you're in a room with, like, hella people, are you the type of person to try to talk to everybody, or do you just, like, sit and observe?
Yeah, and it's definitely observing. Wouldn't try to talk to everybody in the slightest sense.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's however the vibes are.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I hate it when, like, I go into a studio session or whatnot, and I'm, like, with brand new people. I don't just be, like, talking to everybody because it's, like, well, they don't know me, so I can't be like that, you know?
Right.
But it's, like, essentially, like, once you get accustomed to everybody, it's like, okay, now we can have, like, full-blown conversations
Definitely.
and whatnot. But yeah, I could definitely tell that you're, like, the observer type person.
Word, and I'm glad you didn't say quiet, because it's just more than that. It's definitely, I'm watching, you know, all that, peeping the scene.
Dude,
is cool.
But even so, like, the quietest people are the people you got to watch out for.
Oh, yeah.
Because, like, those are the people, like, not necessarily, like, judgy, but those are the people who, like, see every single thing, and it's, like, usually the assumptions aren't that far off.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, within that, it's, I just think, you know, people got to carry themselves, like I said, with respect. So, yeah, somebody's watching. Somebody's always watching. That's what it is.
Yeah, somebody's always watching, man. And, you know, that was the thing moving out to LA. It's like I never really understood that. It's like, I know for artists, there's artists who decide to push shit out every single day, which is kind of a good and bad thing on its own, depending on how you see it. And then there's people like yourself who will really just, like, wait to define their craft and really, like, make their sound as unique as, not even unique, but, like, as themselves as possible and put it out.
Right.
So, like, in these past 2 years, because I know you've been kind of off for, like, the past 2 years. What were you doing in between that time?
Yeah, in between that, like, after I dropped my mixtape, this was 2016, it was Mic Check Volume 2. Like, after that, I was just really experimenting. Even with that project, I was testing methods and, like, what sounds. I've always been trying to push, you know, not to say what's going on now has to be stopped, but it's like I've always just been trying to push the sound forward. And, of course, I would want to have it in my control. So I've just been experimenting within that time, finding the best methods. And it was 2017. I got a studio in Hollywood, so that was probably the best. You know,
Nice.
that's the best move I can make. Everything was in one place. Everything was cohesive. That was the first time I had that. You know, just building on that. I was making beats. You know, crafting that, and then I learned to build. You know, on top of those, built with lyrics. Just like writing to those was difficult at first.
Yeah.
Yeah, just I've always tried to be the most expressive I could when I'm producing. So like, you know, writing.
Yeah. Were you producing before for Odd Future or?
No, I was just rapping.
Okay.
Yeah, Left Brain, Sid, and Tyler. Those were the main producers.
Yeah.
Matt. Yeah, so
Oh,
yeah, we
so,
had the whole
so then
team.
shit, like in these past 2 years, you were pretty much trying to like really craft your producing skills and then find ways for yourself to rap on your own shit.
Oh yeah, yeah. So learning to produce, I already know, like everything starts with a foundation. So I go into everything I do with that mind state. So I had to learn to produce, and I've been doing that. What I do when I lived with Sid and Matt, and I think that was 2013. Like that's when I started.
Yeah.
But yeah, since then it was just making beats, finding the right sound, trying not to overproduce, trying not to add too much shit. But yeah.
What was your method of creating it? How did you know you made a good beat?
Just if it didn't have anything wrong with it in my eyes, like if the sounds weren't too obtrusive or something. It's like a lot. I could show you better than I could tell you. It's difficult.
Yeah. No, I feel you. Did you ever have like Sid or like Matt like sit down and like judge your beats or anything like that, or do you not really care about like outside speculation?
I definitely respect the opinion. I would make stuff around them, and in that case, I would rather them add something to it, you know, or, you know, yeah, but they can give advice whenever, but it's like Left Brain, I make beats with him, you know, the homies, Theo Ferragamo, I work with him, so yeah.
Yeah.
It's just always been like that.
Have you produced for anybody outside of Odd Future?
Nah, I haven't produced for anybody else.
Why is that?
I'm not sure. It's just, yeah, just a selfish thing, I guess. I don't know.
Feel you. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I guess to even like bounce off of that, I feel like your guys' sound is just way too unique that you can't. I mean, I can't really find anybody else outside of Odd Future rapping over like the type of shit you produce.
Yeah, it's difficult. I have a feature on Chase Clouds with Cashier Fresh. He's a kid from Vine. Everybody remembers. It's funny, but yeah, that's the only other person to rap on my beat. So
That's what's
yeah,
up.
it's pretty tight though. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, see how long I could last like that.
You know, but it's cool because just like there weren't too many features on Chase Clouds. So I was like, okay, I feel like that's a statement saying that you can kind of do everything by yourself, which I feel like is good when artists really want to catapult their name to like the next level. Because there's artists who start off and try to just grab like hella features to like build their name up, but it's like, bro, like you can't really. You're kind of like masking your name behind everybody else.
Word. Yeah, I see that. I definitely see that. Yeah, with that, I had built Chase Clouds after I made Stealth Fighter, so Stealth Fighter doesn't have any features on it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was just after that I had a freed mind. I could work with, you know, people and that type of stuff. That's how I came along. But yeah, definitely I respect that. Just seeing that, you know, if somebody could do something by themselves, that's tight.
Yeah. So then what was the process like for you creating Chase Clouds? Like how long did it take for you to make that project?
I would say like 6 months maybe. Yeah, I was just in the studio daily, like for weeks on end. It was crazy. But whatever I cranked out, I would try to, you know, build it to the sound of Stealth Fighter, you know, and then some stuff just I set aside. Some songs came along, you know, just how people pop up at the studio.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
so just the project came in itself. It that's pretty great. And I feel it's the best way.
What was your favorite song to make off of that project?
Favorite one to make, maybe Swim.
Okay.
Just because there's so many versions of it, and yeah, that version is my favorite one so far. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so did you have to make multiple versions of like all the songs? Like, because I know for some artists it comes down to like you have a final version, then you have a final version, then you have like the final version. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Did you have to like keep on doing that with a couple of the records on Chase Clouds?
Yeah, definitely. Just because I build and then I don't stop producing the beat till I pretty much release it. So, and that's what I guess another challenge is. But yeah, just building on top of stuff. And it's certainly with the songs I've produced, there's different versions of the beats. So yeah, it's all a hassle. But yeah, like I said, having that one place, that one studio was the best thing.
Yeah, it is, because then you just got people pulling up and you don't really got to move anywhere.
Straight
so when
up.
Brittany walked in,
Nice.
she was like, oh, like this is a nice setup because I work at home too.
Word.
It's just one of those things. Yeah, dude, Chase Clouds is pretty cool. I actually saw the music video to the first song too. It was hella psychedelic.
Word. Yeah.
That shit was crazy. How'd that video come about?
That was Ruin Your Day with Satire. That video is inspired by Max Payne. His Nightmare Level. And there's some people might remember it, but he's walking this red line. It's like a vein in this all black room, and it's the most difficult level on there. So
yeah.
Then once you make it to the end of that, there's this room, this long hallway with clouds on the wallpapers. So like that's what the clouds was from. It was just funny how it worked out, and yeah, we got the scenes right. It was real good to make, real fun to make. I think that was the first time I shot in front of a green screen.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How'd that go? that shit, it's actually not as hard as you think until you actually get it.
Oh, yeah. Especially plotting out all the scenes you need. Yeah. So that was fun. We had I was on a treadmill walking. Yeah. It was cool. My dude, Austin, shout out to him. He edited crazy. It just came out great.
Yeah. No, it was a very psychedelic video.
Yeah,
I felt like, because then I think I just watched it right after I had woken up, and I was like, oh, fuck. I was like tripping out and shit. That shit was crazy.
Nice.
I fuck with that video a lot. So are you going to be performing a lot of your stuff from Chase Clouds at Camp Flog Gnaw?
Yeah, definitely will be. Last year I did some stuff off of Stealth Fighter, maybe 3 or 4 songs. One of them made it to Chase Clouds. So yeah, definitely some stuff off Chase Clouds. Get with the band, we'll get it together. It'll be fun.
Do you have an idea of like what your set's gonna look like?
I did want to. Yeah, I just wanted to mimic like I did last year. Just ramp it up, go crazy, have everything tight. That's all it is.
Yeah. For sure. Well, everybody, make sure you check out Mike G at Camp Flog Gnaw. We're gonna be there, hopefully, but the tickets are already sold out, so we're kind of fucked that way. But we'll see. Yeah, we'll see what happens, man.
We'll work on it.
Nico, Blitz, this is Mike G. Mike G, tell everybody your tag and whatnot so they can follow you.
Straight up. Everything is Go Mike G at Go Mike G, Instagram, Twitter, and my website, Go Mike G. Feel me? So yeah, Chase Clouds out now. Stealth Fighter coming soon. We gonna rock everything. It'll be great.
Oh yeah. Apple Music, Spotify, all that?
Definitely. Everywhere.
Right. For sure. I'm on Apple Music, so I'll see you guys there.
Sweet.
I'm Nico, Blitz, Mike G. This is The Lunch Table, and we are out, everybody.
Yeah, man.